I'ma keep winning, winning. I'ma keep winning, winning. I'ma keep winning, winning. You can try to save yourself, but you only go.
What's going on, guys? Nick Cam back with another video, and today I'm going to be reacting to Mel Kiper's pretty much top tackle rankings for this class for his offensive tackles. But before we get into it, please make sure to like the video, comment down below anything you agree or disagree with that I talk about in here, and make sure to subscribe for future NFL content that I'm going to be putting out, whether it's NFL draft, free agency, NFL combine, anything, pro days, stuff like that, all coming out. So please make sure to subscribe to be able to keep up with all of my stuff that I'm going to be putting out. So starting out with this, Mo Kiper kind of dropped this video with a lot of his sleepers. He talked about Trey Tucker from Ole Miss. He talked about some of the tackles in here. And he's also talked about who kind of the Titans are going to be taking at number one. But main thing here, since I've done a lot of deep dives on a lot of these guys, and I'm going to be getting around to Josh Connerly and several of these other guys here in the near future. If you haven't checked those out yet, I have them on the channel and a playlist for NFL draft prospect breakdowns. I've done pretty much the top four offensive linemen in this class, in my opinion. So, please make sure to go ahead and check those out if you haven't already. But as you can see here on the screen, this is offensive tackle rankings that he has, and I kind of wanted to break this down because I've been mostly known as like an offensive line guy my entire life, and kind of what I think about this. With several pieces in the past I've gotten right through the last couple of drafts. But here, offensive tackle, the key thing here as well, you'll see Armand Membu from Missouri is not located on here because Mel Kiper, I would assume, sees him as a guard because there's no way that he would be the eighth tackle on Mel's board. He would need to be up here probably at about three. But I assume it's because he sees him more as a tackle, and Armand Membu is more of like that Elijah Vera Tucker is what he kind of reminds me of. I do think he is more of a guard naturally. He played right tackle at Missouri, so it kind of depends how they see him. But I do think he's going to end up playing guard with the ability to kind of bump out the tackle if certain teams need him. Too, if there's like an injury or something, kind of how Elijah Vera Tucker does for the Jets. But looking at this, a lot of this is similar. I mean, the seven guys are going to be pretty much similar and the same seven guys on everybody's board, just in different orders. And in my opinion, he starts out with Will Campbell. Now, Will Campbell's a weird one because he's built more like a guard and his size is more like a guard. But in his tape, when you watch him, he plays like a tackle. Like there's no way that in my opinion, a lot of people are talking about him potentially moving in the guard. In my opinion, if you watch his tape, there's no way he's going to be able to play guard, in my opinion. He plays too tall. He doesn't really get low. He doesn't drive his feet to be able to run the ball. He's not aggressive enough in his play. And in my opinion, he kind of oversets a lot of guys on the edge. So I think he could end up struggling at the next level a little bit. A lot of people see him as this home run offensive lineman and kind of he's been a 3 year starter at LSU. He stepped in there. He's been all SEC all year, all 3 of the years. He's protected for Jaden Daniels, Nussmeier, all these type of guys. But in my opinion, I don't think he's the best tackle in this class. I would have him at number two, in my opinion, and I wouldn't really take anybody in the top five. And the only one I would even take in the top five if I was one of these teams would be the Jaguars taking Kelvin Banks, in my opinion, would be the only one that would make sense. So I honestly, on my board, I have Kelvin Banks ranked at number one over Will Campbell. So that one's a little bit shocking to me because I think Kelvin Banks is more the natural tackle. He is someone I could see end up playing guard or tackle as well. He was a 3 year starter at Texas, slotted at left tackle all these years. He's a lot more aggressive in his play. Fires off the ball. He's a great run blocker. He ends up having great pass sets and great vision and IQ, similar to Will Campbell does, except he doesn't do the oversetting. When Will Campbell oversets someone, he automatically gives them the inside, and on a lot of these edge defenders, they end up trying to come back inside and they end up beating him a lot. He doesn't recover very well once he gets beat on the inside. Kelvin Banks, you don't see do that. He has more of the natural, kick step that a lot of these guys have. He gets his hands on him. Once he gets his hands on you, you're pretty much done. And he's not. he doesn't really overset. His technique's very good. He's very powerful. He finishes his blocks, and he has great technique. So, in my opinion, I think Kelvin Banks is going to be the number one tackle in this class on my board. Mel Kiper thinks differently. It's pretty much it's going to be the same guys, just in different orders. So, he has Will Campbell at number one, Kelvin Banks at number two. Number three, Josh Simmons is an interesting one because he started out at Ohio State. This year, the last 2 years, he was actually at San Diego State. His first year, his freshman year, transferred in, and he's played left tackle, and he's been playing it very well. He actually got hurt this year, 6 games into the season, so that's really going to be his issue. A lot of people think if he did not get hurt and he played the full season healthy at Ohio State, then he actually would be in contention for the top tackle in this class and could potentially have been a top five pick. So it really just matters about if the team's willing to take the risk. It's really Josh Simmons is going to be highly affected at the combine because if he comes in at the combine and his medicals are very good and a lot of teams don't have to worry about him and they think he's going to be ready at the beginning of the year, I think he's going to go up a lot of people's boards and he's going to end up being taken a lot higher than what people think. And as of right now, he's kind of in that 20s range. So he's getting taken somewhere in the 20s. A lot of people usually have him to the Rams at about 25, 26 area. So if he comes in the combine, a lot of teams and their doctors see him as a healthy player that's going to come in and play right away as soon as he starts, then he's definitely going to be taken a lot higher. In my opinion, Josh Simmons is more the guy that he's good at everything and he's great at everything, but he's not a superstar or excellent at one thing. These top two guys and Armand Membu, in my opinion, are great at one thing. Will Campbell has a great pass set, even though he does overset. Kelvin Banks is great in the run game and has a great pass set on both. Josh Simmons is good at all of them, but he's not amazing at either one of them. So if he's able to pretty much go and be consistent and be able to use that in the NFL, then he could be a very great offensive tackle in the NFL starting for a team. So it really just depends on his medicals and if he's able to keep that consistency. Fourth is Josh Connerly. This is pretty much the fourth tackle that a lot of people have on the board. These top fours are pretty consistent, just with the one and two argument. If Amar Membu was in there. Josh Connerly is a solid tackle. He has a great technique. Sometimes if he can keep that technique, most of the time he's able to pretty much beat the defender on his pass sets and his run blocking. Haven't done a full breakdown on him yet, but I'm planning to in the near future to be able to look at a lot of his, how he plays at Oregon. And these two are. It's going to be pretty much convincing to see where he goes with Josh Simmons if he's going to go right above Josh Simmons or if Josh Simmons is going to be healthy or not. A lot of people have Conley going in the late first round in the late 20s. I recently, in my mock draft I just did yesterday, I had him actually going to the Ravens to kind of replace Ronnie Stanley on that offensive line. So he could and potentially be a great late round steal in the late first round for a team that is a championship contender. I could see the Chiefs potentially after the Super Bowl and how their offensive line got whooped to pretty much potentially trade up to be able to get Connerly or Simmons if they're healthy, to kind of move Joe Thuney back inside to be able to play that left tackle role. And these three guys are definitely interesting. Embo is one from Purdue's one. This is the first time I've seen him this high in the rankings. I don't really know much about him in my opinion, but Belton's a guy that is kind of a sleeper in this draft that a lot of people don't really talk about as much. I would say Irsay from Minnesota would be the fifth one on my board in my opinion. I think Irsay he has great size. He's a huge offensive tackle, and I think that he would be pretty much a great pick to be that number five spot, and then Belton down here at number six. A lot of people have fallen in love with Belton's tape and how aggressive he is off the line of scrimmage. So it's just kind of depending on how you see it. I do want to learn a little more about him in the next couple of weeks, but that would pretty much be my offense line ranking and what I kind of think about this. I would have Kelvin Banks at one to Will Campbell, and I would have Ursay pretty much at five with, and then moving these two down. But all these guys, it's very similar. A lot of these guys, people think that they could all of them could play guard. Such as Will Campbell. A lot of people think that Will Campbell could potentially play guard. Kelvin Banks can end up playing guard. Simmons could even play guard. And they think a lot of these guys are going to end up or could potentially play guards at certain teams, especially Membu, who's not even on this list because they've already considered him a guard, to be able to go in. So that's what I think about this, about Mel Kiper's offensive tackle ratings. Please make sure to like the video, comment down below anything you agreed or disagreed with that I talked about. Make sure to subscribe for future NFL content I'm going to be putting out, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, feel like John Morant. Need a triple double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop